Sir,
Ladies
what's
and
your command?
gentlemen,
Your team
and
is banning.
welcome to the Royal Rumble Showdown. This is season 1, organized by Thunder Esports, and I am Peachy, bringing you the grand finale between Team ABM versus Team LCF. And along with me, witnessing this match would be none other than Perona. Hello, Perona. How are you doing?
Thank you, Peachy, for passing me the mic, and I am doing very well. What about you? How is your life going, and how are you expecting this match to end?
I am very excited to see this match because two of the top teams, because we all know how both the teams have climbed up that leaderboard, the global leaderboard. They both are fighting it out
Who said
for
there
the
are no
victory
shortcuts
position,
in
for the
life?
crown,
I
for the
literally
throne
invented
in
one.
this showdown. With that, looks like the draft is already on. Both the teams, looks like this time LCF are on the red side and we have ABM on the blue side. The Fanny, the respect band, it is already there. This is a direct ban for Lom Lom. My, on the other hand, another respect ban coming in. Looks like it will be a chip. What do you think about the chip ban, even though there is a nerf to him?
Even though there is a nerf to him, but he has his ultimate, that is a shortcut. So using that, he can summon up any of his teammates to any of the team fights. So yeah,
The hunt
if you
begins.
ask me
Your
about the
team
banning
is
of Chip,
banning.
I would say that's an amazing and wise decision because in any team fight, we had seen that Chip is causing trouble with the help of that shortcut. And whenever any player is alone and we see that the opponent is ganking that one player, there would be Chip opening up the doors for the teammates to go there and turn the tables. And that's kind of problematic if you ask me. So that was a wise decision, I would say. And then comes the ban of Ruby from the side of ABM. And that was quite expected, if you ask me, because in all the matches we had seen that ABM would just
Light
ban
me
off
up
that
and watch
Ruby,
your
and
team is
that's
banning.
quite. I don't know why they do that, but that was quite predictable, if you ask me.
That is right, Perona. It is actually understandable why the Ruby is getting banned in here because ABM, they really don't like to play this hero. On top of that, they really don't want that annoying sustained queen to deal so much damage and
Your
also
team
be
is
in the team
banning.
fight for more than 30 seconds. With that, they already placed it onto the ban section. And looking further ahead, the Hayabusa ban, the Xbox ban. Xbox ban is a direct respect ban towards Jay. They are just making sure, Team LCF are making sure to close up those heroes where they won't be snowballing the entire game to themselves. Same goes for ABM. They are also making sure to pick off those junglers, those annoying junglers that these both teams play.
Exactly, and if you ask
Still
me,
waters
Hayabusa
run
with
deep.
his
Your
Udi
team is
Shadow, it's
picking.
a dangerous thing to face off, and along with that, we can see Ling is getting banned as well, and that's an
I am
amazing ban,
not
I
the
would say,
only
because in
one
this current
bound
meta,
by
we
these
had seen
chains.
devastating Ling gameplays from the players, and that was a quite good decision, I must say. And from the side of ABM, they have locked onto Phobius at first, and if we talk about the LCF, they are hovering over different type of heroes. So let's see which heroes they lock onto. For now, they are hovering over that Harley and that Hyla. So if you ask
My
me,
mission
Harley as a
is to
jungler,
protect lives.
that's quite impressive, I would say, because that can actually jungle very fast, and then he can move up to the lanes. And if we talk about the Hylos, he has a lot of regeneration. So yeah, that is a quite good combination, if you ask me.
Definitely, Pero. And I have
Hope will
seen
find a
LCF
way,
playing
Your
that high
team
lodge
even when
in
it
that
goes
EXP lane
forlorn.
a lot. They make sure to pick up that high lodge. They are putting it into the EXP lane, and during the mid game to the late game, it just creates, with the glorious pathway and with the regen as well. He's just there sustaining. He's just there soaking up all the damage to him. So this is how the plays goes for a team on the side of Team LCF. But looks like a mage, Vexana will be picked this time. Oh, Vexana pick, pretty good, but she can be countered, don't you think so, Perona?
I think she can be countered because with the stun she has there is Purify. But if you ask about the Eternal Guard, that's gonna be a problem. And the stun is actually quite sustainable, and also the
Magic
damage
is
that comes
my
out of her
life.
in the late game
Your
that
team is
can be
picking.
faced off. But it's just that Eternal Guard might cause a problem to the players of the opponent. But in the opponent, we can see there is an Aurora, there is a Harriet. So things might not be that much of a problem to face off that Vixana, because we know that Aurora has a lot of crowd control as well, and with that burst damage coming out from Harriet, I guess Vixana can be cornered in many situations. But let's see which other heroes they actually lock onto. So according to that, we would be able to predict that if Vixana was a good choice for them. But personally, if you ask me, I am a Vixana main, so I would love to actually spectate a Vixana gameplay from them. And also, with that being said, they have went in for the Moskov. So with the ultimate of Moskov, he can actually go to any lane and do a split push, or maybe in any team fight, he would be there to corner out the players. So currently, if we look at the lineup of LCF, that is looking quite of a damage dealing type of lineup for me. And if we look at the lineup of ABM at this point, they have a balanced lineup, if you ask me, because they have a crash control, they have Phobius as their EXP laner, so they wouldn't be facing that much of a problem to face the mobility of any hero in the opponent, if you ask me. But even though there is Phobius in the team, we do not see any type of hero that has mobility in the opponent. So I don't know how it's gonna end actually, but I really, really hope I get to see a very good gameplay coming out from that Phobius, because after that revamp of Phobius, matches actually get very exciting when there is a Phobius.
Definitely, Perona. After that revamp, 4 years is actually going bonkers. He has been rising up to that meta and actually claiming that spot where the Teresla was and dethroning the Teresla. I really dub him as the king of EXP because, before the nerf, he was very strong. He had the early game, he had the mid game, he had the late game as well, and the penalty zone. Oh my god, it was just a cherry on top for his kid. But looks like the revamped 4 years is taking up his place. On the other hand, look at that. The bans are already setting in. Team ABM, they are closing off all the junglers. They are choking down the junglers for Lomyo Mai. He still have a possibility that he could pick up a Fanny, but let's just see after the ban section. On to the other hand, Team LCF, they are choking down those tanks that Apex likes to play. The Carmilla, the Tigreal, these are the heroes. He picks up. He is actually a utility hero user. He picks up this heavy kind of CC heroes. Like the Atlas, even the Carmilla with the Curse of Blood. He actually does a very good Curse of Blood. I have to say, Perona, with that. But unfortunately, maybe in this match we are not able to see. With that, a last ban coming in, maybe a Fanny ban or probably a fighter should be getting banned here. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think that as well. But before that, I would like to say that among us, there is one more caster here, and that is none other than Farhan Dane, that is the Mikey Kun. He's here now. So, Mikey, what do you think about the lineups at this point? And what do you think about the draftings?
Thanks for the introduction, Prerna. If we talk about the overall drafting, I guess they are going towards the meta over here. And if you talk about the picks from the side of ABM, they've gone with Phobius, Harith, and Aurora. All three are the magic dealer heroes, and the early on potential they'll have will be a lot. Because if you talk about Phobius, he can sustain a lot. Harith has the potential to get a lot of shield in team fights, and Aurora has the capability to deal a good amount of burst damage along with crowd controls. So overall, ABM has good picks. And if you talk about LCF, Hylos is pretty good in the EXP. Vexana is an amazing mage as well, and Moskov has pretty good potential, but he has to wait till late game. Whereas if he is going against Harith, he will have an advantage. And if we talk about the picks right now from the side of LCF, they have gone for Edith, who is a pretty good of a hero because she has a good amount of sustainability and also a damage. And as a tank marksman, she can both do, front laning and also dealing a good amount of damage. If we talk about ABM, they've gone with Alpha and Jawhead. I think the true damage dealing capability of Alpha is pretty good because if we talk about high loss and Edith, both of them are pretty tanky heroes. So true damage can be a pretty good utility to have in this lineup.
Yeah, exactly. And with that being said, the last pick will be coming out from the side of LCF. Since we have seen, I believe Hylos will be going for that roaming section. So since there is a roamer, mage, marksman, and already an EXP laner, I believe this should be it is gonna be any tanky or damage dealing jungler from their side. And before even I had finished my sentence, they went in for that Roger. So with that mobility, he can actually deal a lot of damage. He can jungle very fast. And that's gonna be a very balanced lineup if you ask me, Peachy.
Definitely a balanced lineup. They are just making sure to pick up those heroes that they know well already, and they have been playing these heroes for quite a lot time. Whenever this meta was up, the assassin meta, I have to say. But an Edith countering that Phobius, this is actually looking strong. Don't you think so, Mikey?
I
Yeah, I
believe that
guess
Mike
so.
is gonna agree as well.
Yeah, I guess so. Because if we talk about the overall lineups, both of the teams have pretty good of a heroes. The early game potential, I
Welcome
must
to
say, will go
Mobile
towards the side
Legends!
of AVM because they've got a pretty good jawhead on their side, and he
5
can deal a good
seconds
amount of
till the
damage because of
enemy
the first
reaches the battlefield.
skills passive,
Smash them!
and he can use his eject and the unstoppable force quite early on to, be a good initiator. And if we talk about the overall potential of the side of LCF, they will have the advantage when it is a late game because they've got a Roger on their team along with a Moskov. So mid game to late game potential is quite high for the side of LCF. But let's see what happens in the early game because that will be the deciding phase that who has the early on advantage, the goal lead, and we'll get to see the snowballing of either of the teams.
Mm, I think that as well. Since there is Edith and also Roger and a Maskov, so they are basically marksman heroes, right? Even though they are played in different lanes. So I believe that they would have a lot of damage coming out from them in the mid to late game. So before that, we can already see that the players from the side of LCF are trying to corner out the players of ABM in the bottom line, bottom to mid lane, and already there is a lot of damage coming out from that Alpha, and Roger was being taken down. And that was the first blood, and the second blood was of the edit. That is, Aurora was able to take down that edit in no time, and that was an amazing gameplay coming out from the side of ABM. And they started really, really well, and they are now cornering out that Moscow, and Moscow was being taken down by Apex. So that's gonna be a 3 kills from them in one initiation, and already they are going in for the gold from that turret. So they were able to secure a lot of gold from that turret. So these things are looking very, very in favor of the side of ABM, if you ask me, Pichi.
Definitely, it is looking very good for Team ABM right now. They managed to pick up the early game for themselves. 3 kills already. Definitely very strong to them. But on the other hand, the turtle is up. Both the junglers, they need this because this is the first turtle of the match. A very important turtle, I have to say, because it gives an extra boost to those heroes. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think that, and already another kill was being secured. And did you see, Farhan, how Jawhead is perfectly using his ejector? And with that being said, Roger was able to secure this turtle from the side of ABM. He was able to steal it, and now they are retreating back. And the damages have been done, as you were saying that the first turtle is very important, but that was taken by that Roger. And if we look at the bottom and look at the HP of that Moscow, oh my goodness.
Ooh, the ejector over there.
Moscow.
In the meanwhile, if you talk about the current situation, the kill score is 5-1. Right now, ABM has got 5 kills, and they've also got the goal lead of about 2,000 goals. So they're off to a pretty good start. And if you look at the players right now, uh, Harith has gone for the Azure Blade to deal a good amount of damage early on. And if you talk about the builds of every other hero, they're going for a pretty good start right now. None of them have built any items till now. It's just the sub items. And if we look at the top lane a bit, if we talk about Phobius and Hylos, both of them are quite a bulky heroes and they're sustaining pretty good. But in the bottom lane, we can see a pretty low HP Johan over there, and who was taken out by Harith. And Harith is going towards the bottom lane tier 3. And with that being said, pretty low HP Apex was taken out by Roja. The fight won't be continuing, I guess, because otherwise it will be overstaying, and that was a pretty good decision to retreat over there. Peachy.
Definitely a good decision to retreat, because an overstaying can actually cause them to lose those gold that they have right now. But on the other hand, they are making sure to shutting down that Moscow right into their he's just taking some and they're not leaving him. This is going so good for aim right now. Look at the score as well. It's not even 5 minutes to the game, but a 6-4 or 2-4 Perona.
Exactly, and there might be a fight going in. There might be a fight breaking out in the total area since it has spawned already, and we can see from the side of ABM and from the side of LCF as well. They are actually lurking around that area, and the first commitment on the turtle was from the side of ABM. And since the last turtle was taken by that Roger, I don't think Alpha would be giving him any chance to take that. And with that being said, the turtle was being taken down, and also the kill of Roger was taken there, and we can already see that Eternal Guard is actually chasing all the players of ABM, but that's of no use, I believe, because look at the damage coming out from that Phobius as well as that Aurora, and the initiation coming out from that Alpha is actually magnificent if you ask me. And if we look at the gold difference at this point, ABM is leading at a gold lead of 3.4K, and they have secured a turret already. And look at that amazing gameplay coming out from that Jawhead. That's an amazing use of ejector, and look at the damage coming out from him. And if we look at the top lane, Phobius was being cornered out by that Roger and that Hylos, and he was not able to sustain in the situation because the damage that comes out from the Roger, and with that ultimate of Hylos, it was impossible for Phobius to sustain in the situation. But the rotation is coming towards the top lane from the side of ABM at this point, and I believe with while clearing that minion pressure, they might take down that turret. What do you say, Mikey?
I think as well. In the top lane, there was a bit of a pressure, but I don't think they will go for a fight over there. But if you look at the bottom lane, the turtle is going to be spawning over there. So most probably the next fight will break out around the bottom lane's river. But if you look at the items a bit, if you look at that, Phobius has gone for the Thunder Belt, and if you look at Aurora, she's gone for the Holy Crystal, and Warx was bought by Alpha over there. In the meanwhile, in the top lane, Hylos with the ejector over there. The top lane tier 3 was taken out by ABM. Right now, from the side of LCF, they're rotating towards the bottom lane's river, focusing on the turtle, but let's see if they're able to do so or not, because Phobius has already given the vision. They're, from the side of LCF, they're melting down the turtle, but that was, resetted over there. A fight is broken out, they had it going in. Eternal Guard being used. With that being said, Alpha took out Vexana over there. Pretty low HP. Moscow trying to deal a bit of damage with the Phobius is just stomping onto each of them. And in the meanwhile, I think there's a big possibility Moscow taking out Phobius, but Phobius was taken out by Hylos. Peachy.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Coming out.
Definitely, Perona, that was not good. But they managed to take off the Phobius. But in that case, maybe an uncontested turtle coming in. Eda trying to go in with the Earthquake Shatter. Will she be successful? Looks like the Zaman pose and the Retribution from Alpha will be used. There is some gang going on. Looks like the ejector will be popping onto that Edith. Unfortunately, she will be taken down. The due to objectives being won by Team ABM right now, this is what they need. They are also winning those towers as well. Look at Radium right now. He has been pushing non-stop. He was in the bot lane in early game, and we are proceeding towards that mid game. He was at top. He already picked up tier 3 turret and possibly a mid lane as well, because look at that. Maybe Jawhead is looking for some blood as well.
Yeah, I think that as well, and we can already see that as Peachy was saying that there might be a gang breaking out in the mid lanes riverside, and we can already see that from the side of Rayu and Ethics, they were trying to hold on to a situation where they could have cornered out the players of LCF, but look at the damage coming out from that Harith, and Harith has taken down the Roger over there. Even though there was an initiation coming out from that master, that wasn't that useful, and the damage is still going on. Double kill secured by that Radium over there. Look at the damage. And if we look at the health of Edit, that's 0 HP if you ask me, and he was able to retrieve from the situation, whereas another turret was being taken down in the top lane and while this fight was going on. But if we look at the mid lane, there is still those two turrets, and Alpha has taken down Vixana over there. And if you ask me, Alpha is playing phenomenal. Fine.
Absolutely. And Alpha is a pretty good initiator, to be honest, with the Spear of Alpha. And ABM can go aggressive because of their amazing two initiators, that will be Alpha and Jawhead. And right now, for the side of LCF, they are actually, uh, in a quite a bit pressure, because the goal lead has gone out of hand right now with 8,000 goals lead for the side of ABM. And if you look at the bottom lane's river, the Lord has spawned, and already from side of ABM, they're locking onto it. And there is pretty low chance for LCF to, compete over it. And with that being said, Alpha was the one who secured the Lord from side of ABM. And I think with this particular Lord, they can go for the inhibitor, if not for the base. But let's see if SCF can defend this one or not.
They might go in for the inhibitors, because if we look at the turret situation at this point, from the side of LCF, they have lost 5 of the turrets. So that leaves the inhibitors and the mid lanes tier 2. Since the Lord would be coming out from the top lane, I believe since the players are actually gathering around that bottom area and the minion pressure is there, I believe they would be using that as a distraction for the players of LCF, while the Lord can do its best while breaking down that top lane's turret. And I guess, yeah, they would be going in for the inhibitor. The minion pressure is there, the Lord is there, and the players are there as well. Look at that Jawhead and an amazing gameplay coming out from the Phobius. Ethics was being taken down, double kill secured by Phobius. Moscow is being taken down, Edit is down as well. That's an amazing wipeout coming out from the side of ADM. And with that being said, they have locked onto the base and they're taunting a bit. And the Lord would be the one to pin that last nail to the coffin. And the first round of this match goes to the side of ABM. Congratulations.
Well, but after all, this is going to be a marathon instead of a sprint, because it's a best of 7. So still, SCF has a chance to do a comeback in this particular one. The early on advantage of ABM, they hold it onto it, they snowballed it, and if I can remember it correctly, it was about 8,000 goals lead. That was huge, to be honest. The overall goal gap they created had a huge impact. If you look at the data from side of ABM, the highest damage was dealt by none other than Aurora, 24%, and Harith was completely locked onto the turrets with 50% of turret damage. And if you look at the side of LCF, Vexana was the one who dealt the highest damage, and that would be 35%. And overall, they weren't able to lock onto the turrets that much, to be honest, because they didn't actually get that much of an opportunity. The overall synergy of ABM and the way they were holding on to the turrets and the overall rotations they had was really amazing.
Exactly.
Definitely, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, Pitchy, go ahead.
Team ABM made sure to sync up those lanes, which was a big advantage to themselves. Even though, as we just saw that the Lord went into directly to the mid inhibitor, that was very unexpected of the Lord. Other than that, the Lord was supposed to go into the crystal. So the minions really played a very big part, Piranha.
Exactly, and we will be moving on to the next round. And before that, we will be taking a very short break. We'll be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the most anticipated match of the night. That is between LCF and ABM. Already, we've gone with the first round. This is going to be the second round of the best of 7 series. This is the Royal Rumble Showdown presented to you by Thunder Esports. And already, we can see that both the teams are starting off with the drafting from side of LCF, they banned Xbox and Hylos, and going for the third ban as well. From side of ABM, they banned Fanny and Chip, and from side of LCF, they banned Phobius. From the caster deck, this is gonna be me, Fantana, aka Mikey. Along with me, it's gonna be Prerna.
Thank you for passing me the mic. And the next ban was Ruby, and we all knew that this was coming from the side of ABM. And I'm kind of surprised that they haven't banned Ruby on the first place, and they chose to ban some other heroes, and then they went for the Ruby. And with that being said, the first hero is gonna be picked from the side of LCF, and let's see which hero they actually go for, because the first pick is always very tacky, so I believe they would want to secure a hero that is actually very comfortable for them, and they don't want it in the opponent if there is any common hero. So I believe that's gonna be a rumor, or it might be a mage as well. What do you think, Farhan?
I am the priestess of primal lightning.
Okay.
The
And
hunter
before
of all the
Farhan could even
Hey.
talk, it was Edit actually. And we had seen amazing gameplay from Edit in the previous match, even though the match did not end up well. But the gameplay coming out from that Edit was phenomenal. So they have went in for the Edit. And from the side of ABM, I believe it's gonna be a marksman pick from Radium, or he could just actually swap it with someone. I don't know yet. And from the side of Abhi, I believe it was a jungler. Yeah, and with that being said, they have locked onto that lane. So that will be an amazing match and a very exciting match for Han.
Absolutely, but still now, Hayabusa is open, so there is a possibility for the side of LCF to go for it. But let's see if they are gonna go for it. Because right now, if you talk about the assassins, Ling and Hayabusa are the most picked assassins out there because of their ability to, roam around that easily and the amount of burst damage they deal. And yeah, even before I could finish the whole convo, you can see that Hayabusa was picked by the side of LCF, and I think they can go for the mage right now. Okay, but they're actually hovering over the EXP, and yeah, there are a lot of options. If they want to go for the EXP, I'd say
Hmm?
Terizla would be a good option since Ruby was banned off. Hylos is also another good pick, but let's see what they go for. Prerna.
They were messing around a bit, and I believe they are going to lock for that Vixana. And yes, they are going for that Vixana. So if we look at the lineup at this point, there is Edith, there is Vixana, there is Hayabusa, who's gonna deal a lot of damage, I believe, and Vixana is gonna provide a lot of stun. And then comes the Edith. She can actually provide damage from the front lane, and as well as she can back people up, back the players up from the back lane as well. So this is looking quiet, a distractive lineup for me from the side of LCF. But let's see which heroes ABM have in their sleeves to stop this lineup. And we can already see that Minsitar is being hovered over. So if that's a Minsitar, I believe that's going to be a problem, because with that King's Calling, that would be a very, very problematic situation for this for Edit and also for Hayabusa. And Radium, with that before even wanted to say that he might go for that Harith once again, Radium locked onto that Harith. So that's gonna be another phenomenal gameplay coming out from that Radium, and I am actually hoping very high from this player, this particular player, Mikey.
Yeah, because he is really good with that Harith over there. Because in the previous round, we saw how aggressive he was playing around and how comfortably he just locked onto the turrets and the base as well. Lunox were banned from side of ABM because the amount of high burst damage Lunox can deal can be problematic. And in the in the gold lane, actually, if you uh, go with Lunox against Harith, Lunox will have a slightly better chance to win a 1v1. But if you talk about the next bans from side of LCF, they banned the Kacha. The next ban, the last ban of the side of ABM. Let's see what they are gonna ban. Maybe they're gonna focus on the gold lane right now. if we look at the side of LCF, they still haven't gone for any roamer, so they can also go for the roamer as well, Prerna.
I think that as well, because since there isn't any rumor and the rumor of the opponent has been picked already, so they might go for it since because it would be a very easier convenient for them to
Your
think of
team is
a
ready.
roamer to actually defend that Valerie. And with that being said, the last ban was Terizla from the side of ABM. So, sorry, from the side of ABM, it was the last ban, and that was of Terizla. And if we talk about Terizla's ban, Terizla is a very good hero in the
As
EXP lane,
fleeting as
but
a
I
smooth
don't know
braided
why they
breath.
went for the Terizla
As
ban, because the
timeless as a
EXP laner, that
glacier
is Edit,
heart.
has
Surprises when I give the
already
Your
been
word.
team is
selected. So
picking.
that was quite I would say not wise. And the last ban of this drafting phase was Aurora, because in the last match we had seen an amazing Aurora gameplay from the side of ABM, so that was quite understandable. And they have picked on to Khalid. The Khalid would be going in for the EXP lane, I believe. And if we talk about Edith versus Khalid, that's quite interesting, Farhan.
I think so as well, but the thing is, Edit does have two crowd controls that can actually cancel out Khalid's second skill healing. So, if we're going for a 1v1
True
thing,
love
then
is like blood.
Khalid will have a bit of an issue against Edit. We can see Carmilla being selected by the side of LCF, and she's one of my favorite roamers, to be
Your
honest,
team
because
is
the
picking.
overall curse of blood of Carmilla can, change the whole tide of a match. The overall damage boosting up of hers, the overall linking up of three individual heroes, and the damage bouncing off. That can be a huge game changer, to be honest. And we can see Selena as well. Selena is pretty good of a hero, to be honest, but most of the time in the recent phases we haven't seen her getting picked that much. In most cases we can see her as a Roma, but since there is a Carmilla, I think she is gonna go for any particular lane, since there's a Vexana as well. So I'm not sure with the overall strategy they have at hand, because yeah, you can use Selena in any particular role,
My
to be honest.
heart
She's a very versatile of a hero. So let's see in which lane she goes for. I think the gold lane. What do you think?
I think that as well, because there's the thing, there is no hero in that particular area. So I believe Selena can actually maintain a bit of a distance, and with her stun, she can actually face off Harith for a bit. And the last pick was of Valentina, so that would be IMU used from the side of ADM. And I believe that Vixana's Eternal Guard is gonna have a doppelganger in the Land of Dawn. And if we talk about the Valentina's ultimate, she can also copy the ultimate of Selena, as well as that Hayabusa and Carmilla. So it is gonna be a bit of problem to face that Valentina
welcome
if
to
the
Mobile
uh,
Legends.
ultimate is used perfectly from her. And with that being said, we
5
are
seconds
already
till
in
the
the
enemy
Land of
reaches
Dawn,
the
and
battlefield.
let's see what happens
Snatched.
here, because the hero picks. Wait, what just happened? What?
Victory!
The
I
Selena
am
pick, most
confused.
probably that was, I think there was a bit of an issue with the drafting, so maybe we're gonna have a redraft.
To this confusion in a bit, and before that we would be taking a very, very short break. We will be right back.
Introducing my buddy,
Your
Bad
team
Maru.
is picking. I didn't cure the pain. I harness it.
Welcome back, guys. We're back again with the second round. There's been a little bit of change in the drafting over there. The last thing we saw was there was a Selena from the side of LCF, but that's clogged right now. So there was a bit of a miss. There was some technical issues because of that. But right now, if you look at the overall situation, it's going to be quite of a passive situation before the Lethal Wanderer arrives. Because I think there's going to be a bit of a competition over there, Prerna. But before that, both of our team's junglers are actually focusing on their buff, and there are no invades yet, and the possibilities of invading are quite low right now.
Exactly, and things are very, very passive in the situation where we can see Grok was here to help Valentina, and the minion pressure is no more in the mid lane. So he is actually rotating towards the top lane, I believe, but he is trying to distract that Carmilla from that lane, whereas Khalid was able to take his position into that bush around that Lethal Wanderer. So that was an amazing gameplay coming out from that Grok, if you ask me, and already we can see that Carmilla is being targeted, but she dealt a lot of damage, but that was not that massive, and she was able to sustain in that situation, whereas in the top lane we are seeing Khalid facing off that Edit, and Edit has a lot of damage as a marksman, so in the late game it might be a problematic situation for Khalid to face off that Edit, and we can already see that there was a competition in the EXP Crab, and that was secured by that Edit already. And if we look at that lane, and Grok is being actually cornered out by that Hayabusa, but Grok was able to sustain in the situation because of the tankiness of his, and Hayabusa had to retreat from the situation because using his skills on that Grok is completely unnecessary, if you ask me, because there was no one else to follow him up, and already we can see he was trying to actually get a hold of that Grok as well as that Vexana, but as well as that Valentina. But Valentina was able to retrieve from the situation, and we can already see the first shot was being secured by Khalid, and that was off the Hayabusa. So before that turtle, that was an amazing gameplay, if you ask me, from that Khalid, and we can see there is no competition in the turtle area, and the first turtle was secured by Ling over there, and Carmilla might be taken down. Carmilla was taken down by Ling, and Ling was being taken down by Edith over there. Double kill secured by Edith, but Edith would be taken down by Valentina. Eternal Girl used on Abhi, and Abhi has to retrieve from the situation because otherwise he would be taken down by that Eternal Guard, and he was able to retreat from the situation. So that was an amazing gameplay coming out from ABM. That was an amazing start for them. But if we look at the previous fight, that was completely insane, and that went inside of that LCF team.
Yeah, absolutely. But still now, if you look at the goal lead, it's about 800 goal lead. But in the meanwhile, Vexana was sitting up in another than Grok. Carmilla is being poked a bit, but nobody's going to target her because he is the roamer after all. And as I was saying, the goal lead is still on the side of ABM because right now it's about 1,000 or so. And even though, right now, if you look at that, Carmilla is being targeted a bit. Capital Blade being used over there. Carmilla was thinking about now the Ling. Right now, Ling is trying to retreat, but most probably will be taking a lot of damage. With that little HP, he managed to survive. We can see that Eternal Guard being used by Vixana. Valentina trying to survive. Apex was taken out by Hayabusa. In the meanwhile, Khalid is doing a rotation over there. Most probably will try to do a lane card, but no, he was just trying to give a bit of a vision to his teammates. If you look at the kill score right now, it's about 3-5, and the goal lead is still on the side of ABM. If you look at the itemizations, Hayabusa and Khalid, both of them has gone for the Fury Hammer over there. And a bit of an engage on Jay, that is a Khalid. Vixana trying to deal a good amount of damage over there, but Khalid is locking on to Vixana. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to take the kill, but yeah, Vixana was able to survive. Chemical Blade being used again, but in the meanwhile, if you look at that, Edit is melting. And that, with that being said, Ling was taken out by none other than Edit. Right now, from the side of ABM, they will try to retreat, and they should, because they have lost their jungler right now. And in the bottom lane, there's a good amount of pressure over there.
Exactly, and we can already see that they are trying to corner out that Claude over there, but the damage coming out from Claude is absolutely amazing. And in the meanwhile, we can see Valentina was able to take down that Carmilla, and with a very, very low HP, Khalid was able to sustain in the bottom lane, and Claude had to retreat from the situation, and the turtle has already spawned. So let's see which team actually commits onto the turtle, because I can already see that Valentina is lurking around that area. So while they take out that Claude, I believe that they have a plan of taking out that Claude first, and then they would be actually committing on the turtle, because we are not seeing any type of commitment from Khalid on the turtle. But Ling is there to actually secure the turtle, and Khalid is trying to provide vision for him. And with that being said, Hayabusa was able to take that turret from that top lane. So they are pushing lanes. Both of the teams are pushing lanes, and Ling was able to take that turtle. So yeah, things are looking kind of on the side of ABM, if you ask me, Farhan.
Yeah, absolutely. They have actually, piled up a good amount of gold lead right now. That's about 1,500 goals lead. That is pretty good. And even though LCF can, do a comeback in this particular situation, but they will have to hold on to it. They have to, try to ambush rather than going for team fights, and avoid any kind of fights right now, because if we look at the previous round, similar kind of a thing happened for the side of ABM. They were stocking up gold, and gradually it increased just to be a huge amount of difference, which was just unbearable for them. So I don't think they want to repeat that particular thing. And if you look at that, the top lane's tier 3 was taken out by the side of ABM. The mid lane's tier 3 is being targeted. Musa went in to defend the tier 3, but I think that was a bad decision from his side, because you don't want to, give off a kill to defend a turret like that when it's a 1v5 situation. Pena.
Exactly, he was totally outnumbered there, and the roamer was there, and he was not followed up by anyone. So that was not a wise decision coming out from the Hayabusa, but he was trying his best to save that turret, but he had to lose that as well. And we can already see that Carmilla's ultimate has been copied by that Valentina in any moment. I believe she is gonna use that, and already we can see a lot of damage is coming out from that link, and Vixana was being taken down, and Johan is CC immune at this point, but he might be taken down, whereas we can see that Ruby Shadow did not help that. Hayabusa Khalid was able to take him down. The fight is still going on. Claude is being taken down. Harris has been taken down as well. Shutdown secured by that Link. Double kill by him. An absolutely amazing gameplay coming out from the Link. And that's the type of gameplay we actually expect from a League player. So I believe, with that being said, they might be going in for the turtle, or they might just wait for a Link to come there. And yes, as I was saying, that Link would be the one to commit on the turtle. So there would be now competition from the side of LCF on the turtle, if you ask me, because there is no chance for them.
Yeah, I'd say so, because the overall goal difference is quite piling up right now, so they won't actually go for any competition. And I think that was a good decision to avoid any kind of unnecessary fights. The purple buff was being invaded by Ling over there, and from the side of ABM, they were successful to steal that buff. So that is gonna put Hayabusa in a tight spot because without that buff, it's gonna be a bit of a tough situation for him to engage or continuously be in team fights. If we look at the kill score, it's 6 by 11, 6 kills for the side of LCF and 11 for the side of ABM. The goal lead is about 4,500 goals, and that is a lot for about 9 minutes of the match. In the meanwhile, in the mid lane, we can see the Ugi Shadow Kill being used by Hayabusa to evade from that bad situation, but Hayabusa was taken out by Ling. In the meanwhile, Tempest Blade being used by Ling with the continuous damage being dealt. Camilla is in a pretty bad situation, but was able to evade from that. Apex is being melted down, but let's see if he can evade or not. Wild Charge being used to evade, and Claude went in, but yeah, he retreated from that situation. Otherwise, that could have been a bad thing for him, and he used the battle image to evade from that situation. Harris was melted down just like that. The top lane's tier 2 is quite damaged, I would say. Hayabusa and Khalid, both of them has gone for the Blade of Hephaestus. We can see the Thunderbelt from Khalid as well, and Edith. Edith has also gone for the Dominance Eyes and most probably going for the Athena Shield right now. We can see Claude is dealing with a good amount of damage right now. Link trying to evade from that. The orange buff was being evaded, but the evasion was not successful. Penna.
Exactly, and every time there is Khalid versus this Hayabusa, Hayabusa is actually facing a lot of problems. And while the fight at the orange buff was going on between Ling and the other players, that is the invasion time, Hayabusa was being taken down by Khalid. Another fight has been broken down in the purple buff area of LTF, and I believe that Abhi would be able to, ABM would be able to retrieve from the situation. And yeah, with an aggressive poking, they just retreated from that place because the Lord is there, and they wouldn't want to throw any of the players before securing that Lord. And we can already see in the bottom lane there was an initiation from Harry to take down that turret, but since the players of the LCF are here, he had to retrieve from that place, and the minion pressure is still there, but the minions wouldn't be able to do much because Edith was there to actually clear out the lanes, and we can already see that Khalid is holding on to a position where he can initiate a gank, whereas the first Lord was being secured by Ling over there. So with the help of this Lord, I believe that they might try to take down one inhibitor or it could be the tier 2. It could be both of the tier 2s because if I look at the bottom lane's tier 2, that is just very low HP, and with one minion pressure that would be able they would be able to take that down, and they might go in for that mid lane tier 2 because the Lord would be coming from the top lane, so that could be an easy distraction for LCF. What do you think?
I think so as well. If you look at that, I think from the side of ABM, they're gonna try to, let the Lord be defended by the side of LCF, and they're gonna go for the tier 2s and the mid lanes inhibitor. But let's see if that happens or not. Right now, from the side of ABM, they're trying to go for the mid lanes tier 2, and the Lord is being defended by the side of LCF. Right now, the mid lane has a bit of a minion pressure that will be defended quite amazingly. Right now, a bit of a damage on Carmilla, but none of them. Okay, the temple break. Vexana was taken down, and meanwhile, a pretty era was taken out by Harriet over there. Things are not looking good for the side of LCF. They were getting secured by none of them Harriet. And the meanwhile, Vexana was taken out. She was secured by Harriet. A wipeout for the side of LCF. The base being locked again by ABM. The minion is there. A little bit of taunting from side of ABM. Consecutive 2 wins will be for the side of ABM with this one. Then
So till now they are undefeated, and this is the second round already, and they have won this one, and congratulations to them. So there would be 5 more rounds for LCF to come back to this match. But if we look at the data at this point, the MVP was secured by Abhi from the side of ABM. So that's an amazing gameplay, I would say. But if we look at the detailed data, we can see that from the side of ABM, the highest damage, hero damage, was from Ling, which is very expected, that is 29%, and after that it is Abhi. So if we talk about Radium, he was the one to uh, he was the one who initiated on the turrets, and that's 75% of turret damage. And if we look at the team fight participation, it is highest from the side of Abhi as well. So that actually explains why he secured that MVP. But if we talk about LCA, they tried their best as well, because we had seen amazing Ugi Shadow uses from the side of Hayabusa. There was amazing gameplay coming out from that edit and that Vixana as well. But things did not work out for them in this particular round, but I believe that in the next round they would be able to come back on their foot. So to see that, we have to wait a bit, and we would be right back after a very short break.
Sir, what's your command? Your team is banning.
Who said there are no shortcuts in
Your
life?
team
I
is
literally
banning.
invented one.
The hunt begins.
Your team is banning.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are back in the third game already, and we see ABM already dominating LCF with a 2-0 lead in the first two games, already establishing that dominance which they are known for. And in the third game, we will see if LCF will be able to make a comeback, or will they even lose out on the third game as well. And joining with me today are none other than your favorite casters, Kronos and Skiriet.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, look where we are again. The grand finals, best of 7, Royal Rumble, Thunder Esports, Mobile Legends 5v5, and this is game number 3. ABM 2-0, LCF, the challengers, once again trying to climb to the top of the mountain. And it's been a problem for them to deal with this lineup of ABM. And Scared Yet, you know this. You are no stranger to this scenario. And let us know, what do you think that's been happening so far?
I mean, you already know about what we've been discussing behind the scenes. By the way, thank you so much for the introduction, Fido, and thank you for having me here. To be honest, really excited to share the stage with you. Now, coming back to the question that you asked, I think so. Most of the, you could say, result that we are seeing could actually be pointed out just one thing, that ABM are kinda out drafting the members of LCF. That's what we've been noticing constantly. And guess what? There's another Xbox left open in the draft as Phobius, Ling, and Chip were banned out. On the other side, it was a Fanny, Ruby, as well as a Hayabusa. And Jay will gladly go into the jungle. That means it's going to be Ryu on that EXP lane. Now, the question is what he's going to pick. There's also a Khalid that is open and up for grabs.
Yeah, there's a Khalid, but right now the J, I mean, on that Xborg, that is the most fearsome reputation that J has on that Xborg. I mean, LCF might just be looking to already give up the game, because they might just be thinking that J on that Xborg is something that they do not want to deal with. I mean, everyone has faced it before, but like you said, the Khalid has been picked up right now by Error actually, instead of Ryu.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a flex pick at the moment. And given the fact that Jay has such a nice reputation with that Xborg, it is also quite a flexible pick. It's something that you can throw into the jungle, you can throw it in the EXP lane. And I've seen sometimes picking it up in the roam position, but that was really, really long time ago. But on the other side, LCF really prioritizing this high-low. So I feel like they have some sort of affinity towards this pick, because they always pick it up or ban it out. Yes, the high-low is a strong one that helps on a full dive composition, but it's not the greatest. It can be countered. It can be dealt with, especially in the form of a Lunox, possibly even the form of a carry. And if you needed be, you could pick up the Nathan as well. But right now, the Khalid, the dominating part of the EXP lane in the current meta, being matched up by the Terizla, basically a nerfed version of a Khalid at the moment, and the Aurora, ever so radiant in the current meta, always gonna be there, providing the CC, providing the slow that that their team needs. But at the same time, Scared, you see the final pick coming out in the first phase of the bans. What do you think about the ban section already?
I'll be honest, this is like one of the first time when I feel that LCF have kind of got the upper hand in the draft. There's a high loss on one side. There's also the Khalid that they have. Again, picking up a high loss against the Xbox is something that I might really want to question, but it's absolutely fine. They lock in the Harath as well to try and get some extra bit of damage. The ban out the Lunox, making sure that there's no one to chunk down Cutie Pine onto that big chunky horse. But here's the thing, Ryu on Terizla in EXP lane, that clearly means that Error is basically winning that matchup in terms of the rotation as well. So they should have the upper hand. But we know that Lom Lom loves to play Fanny and they like to have control. But that's not going to happen. Now, one thing I really want to see is Louis ban. I was about to say that and they banned it out because Peter loves the Louis, and LCF play a different game whenever they are playing with the Peter on Louis.
Yeah, definitely. Peter is the one who wants to dominate that mid lane, and Louis will just allow him to do so because the enemy has a few melee heroes. That Xborg is there as well as the Terizla, and Louis can definitely, be a very good pick against melee heroes. So yeah, Peter will be denied from that low pick by the side of Team ABM. But they have not yet picked up a roam. So I'm really curious to think what Apex will be picking up this game. Meanwhile, the fact that Harriet has been picked up and the Lunox has been banned. What do you think will be a good goal laner to counter that Harriet right now? Because we know that Harriet has a very good potential.
And given the fact that Harith is the most dominating gold laner in this current meta, doesn't mean there is no counter. Yes, there is in the form of a fighter if they want to or choose to go for that route. But given the fact that they've taken off the Lunox, means they want to have a little bit of this tankiness in their lineup and not be pushed into or backed into a corner. But at the same time, they take out the Carmilla. On the other side, like mentioned by the two of you, the Louis is taken off the table. The Yve is something that was creeping up into the meta, and realizing that at the moment LCF backs against their wall, they gotta dig deep into their arsenal. They gotta take it out in the bag of tricks. They ban out this Yve, and oh my goodness, they pick off this Lilia, and Lilia is an absolutely phenomenal pick coming in for the side of LCF, not just for the fact that he can deal with the Xborg and deal with the Terizla at the same time, but also its denial on the other side, given the fact that they might actually go for the Lilia in the gold lane, but this time Radium picking it up in the form of a Beatrix, and Apex goes for the Matilda. That's actually been dealing quite a high amount of damage, Scared. But at this point, LCF once again waiting to the final pick for their jungler. Big question mark.
It indeed is, and honestly, no Hayabusa, no Ling, no Fanny. Nolan could be a pretty decent option in this situation, but I think so they could eventually go for an alpha. Don't quite know how he'll be able to catch Apex in that situation, so that's going to be a big problem. But the composition kind of relies around almost a similar thing where Error would want to jump in, Fine Cutie would also want to try and take the fights right onto them. You've got Peter as well, who's got the Purify and the Black Shoes to probably go in for an extra bit of, you could say, aggressiveness, and then pop back in at the same place. So Alpha will eventually do the trick, and they actually pick it up too.
Well, yes, it does feel like, the Alpha has been picked up by the side of Team LCF, and it does, face a big issue to that Terizla there because the HP will be melted down, but they do have the Matilda as well to make that escape. So yeah, I think it's a very, it's a very decently composed lineup coming in from both the teams. That Lilia pick is also a very good one, considering they have that Xborg and Terizla like Kronos just mentioned. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the land of dawn. This is game number 3 of the best of 7, and we will be eager to find out if LCF can make it, make a comeback in this game, or will ABM continue their domination. And with that, we're already into the land of dawn. And Kronos, what do you think, which team will come out on top in that early turtle fight?
Hey, before that, let's not forget, folks, we got to bring the energy. We are here. Game number 3 out of the best of us. Always. Game number 3 out of the best of 7. I keep forgetting he got another 2 more to go. But at this point, you're right. To answer your question, Frito, I think at the moment, given the fact that the composition of LCF looks like they want to dominate in the early to mid phase of the game, seems that they will have a better time. But although if they get a little bit into the late game, this Beatrix is going to be a problem along with that Matilda. But at the same time, they do have the Harriet to answer. All comes down to the fact that will they be able to layer their skills, as you can see right now, Ryu getting caught and Lomblom actually getting that, and they get that first blood onto the side of LCF, and it goes in the hands of Lomblom Mai. And Scared, that was the first blood indeed.
And that too on Ryu on that Terizla. Oh my goodness, unreal. Getting picked off onto the Harith, and Radium gets that kill. I'm not quite sure how good that's going to be, because I'll be honest, if anything, that trade eventually, I would say, is in favor of the side of ABM. Because if in case the Beatrix gets farmed up so very quickly, that's super problematic. But Jay needs to run away.
Ooh, Virag armor gets burst down instantly, and at this point in time, like they still want to go into the gold lane. 30 seconds to spawn for the turtle. Let's see what happens, Fredo.
Yeah, it does feel like, the first turtle will be a very difficult one for both the teams because, both the compositions do have the team fight potential, the dive potential, as well as the escape coming in from that Matilda will be very useful. Look at that fight happening right now.
Oh my goodness, Abhi has to force to get out of there, and at the same time Raging Sandstorm comes out. Lasting Insanity is there at the same time. Quicksand Guard to help Error survive. All that coming after the big Alpha charge or Spear of Alpha that kind of led the charge for them in the game. But right now, first turtle is up and feels like Mai really wants this one in the bag so he can get that snowball going. That or exactly what an Alpha needs, right, Scared?
Absolutely. Eventually, just wants to try and get those picks. Oh my goodness, Abhi just needs to run away. It's still Lom who actually picks the turtle. He tried. Yeah, we could say he tried. But here's the thing. In the mid, Lilia is going to have that advantage, right? We always talk about the fact that the Hailstone Blast is there, but it leaves a few more basic attacks room opened up. And that's exactly where we must see Peter to shine. Sandriel, in the meantime, is just trying to have a, you could say, an advantage. Oh my god, what?
Renner is
that damage! Huh?
Renner is apathy. Jesus, he put in all that work. He got that with the Fury Hammer. He has a long sword in there as well, able to destroy and instantly makes Unreal recall. And Radium has been playing this Beatrix for quite some time now, actually in his bag of tricks that he pulls out whenever necessary, given the fact that it's not just the comfort pick, but also not the greatest in the meta, means to show he is really confident when you pick up this, Beatrix in the goal lane. But right now, look at them. Oh, they get low. Lomlomai leads it with the Spear of Alpha, but there's the Frigid Glacier, but not enough. They get the Guiding Wind to get out of harm's way. He gets that while going in with the Glorious Pathway. And Jay here a little late to the party. Turtle not yet spawned, but I feel like this was just an unnecessary kill. Just a little bit of a punish, but don't pick up any sort of objective in return, Fredo.
Yeah, they did not pick up anything there, but they did secure the kill there. So yeah, it was enough for them, I guess. But before that turtle fight, I do feel like, the skills will be ready and they will be looking to take a good fight indeed because they need to make that comeback right now. And just to mention that, this time Jay is jungling, and if the side of Team ABM loses out on this one, then it won't be the first time when, they switch out their junglers and lose the game.
Oh, scared. Turtle is up. Looks like they're trying to scout out.
Seems like, again, as you mentioned, just a scouting going on. Pine getting a little too aggressive onto Abhi though, and I'll be honest.
Frigid Glacier catches Error right on the edge, but there's the Mon forced to drop it. Abhi doesn't have his passive alive. He tried to flicker out of the way, but here comes the Circling Eagle. They take down Sandriel in the hands of Radium, as the turtle is the target for the side of LCF. Lomlom picks it up, but at what cost? That's their goal laner being traded, and Error actually going in with that. They create space, but every single time, Scared, LCF want to make a play. There is a sacrificial lamb. I'm not sure if this comes out of the fact that ABM are able to play out of the textbook, or is it the fact that LCF are actually just making blunders? Oh, speaking of blunder, look at that Glorious Pathway. Radium flickering out. Guiding Wind as well, but he gets taken down. Apex does provide the Guiding Wind, Circling as well, but there is the killing spree going on to the hands of Lomlomai. And at this point in time, they want to drop down this tier 1 down bot with the help of the Zaman Force. Scared. Top lane has been left empty though, but that rotation needs to be made quickly.
Absolutely, because again, let's be honest, it's Error on the Khalid. He should be able to go towards that top side without any major difficulties. Ryu would probably just try to be a bit of a nuisance, but oh my goodness, look at his movement speed. What does he have? I want to see what boots is made, because just wanted to chunk down the Piragama, maybe not. Oh, a mistake coming in from the guy. And we were talking about the boots. He's basically gone in for the tough boots itself, but look at it.
Oh my goodness, Frigid Glacier catches 4 in the meanwhile. but at the same time, Apex able to use the guiding wind to get out of harm's way. Ryu goes in for that penalty zone. They have to revitalize on towards Pine. Glorious pathway being used to provide a little bit of sustain, but Lom might goes to Spear of Alpha. Here comes the last thing he said. Radiant trying to survive. He gets taken down. Ryu's the last one left standing, but Sanrio with his Demand Force not able to do much. They get that shutdown that was very much needed. That was a 1-for-1 trade. I'm not sure if Ryu was able to go down, but they didn't make the most out of the opportunity. Once Error had to recall because this Raging Sandstorm is there to get that kill. They get that in return. Abi here gets his passive pop. Who is Peter? He's asking the question really. He's doing out the damage with the Shadow Energy Bombs, but taken back is Apex. He does not have the support that his team needs. And right now, Error, actually the missing piece in the puzzle, scared every single time the Khalid is not there. ABM are willing to pick up the fight.
That's the whole point about it. And Fredo, again, I kind of want to ask your opinion as to what's happening wrong with ABM. But to be very honest, Kronos and Fredo, I really want to talk about also the fact that it's still 5-6. Only around 2,000 gold lead at maximum. And there's no late game insurance as for the side of LCF, apart from just a Harith, who I think so is going to get very highly outscaled by Radiant's Beatrix.
Yeah, it does feel like, the Radium on that Beatrix will be able to, outshine that Harith in the late game, but not to forget, oh, look at that damage coming in though.
Sure if this is the right fight for the side of LCF to pick. The Harith is really low on mana, but guess what? Ryu being taken down low gets the kill. They're somehow able to pull it off, but that was a risky play indeed. As you can see on the bot side, the trade is made. Not just the tower, but also the kills. EXP for EXP, tower for tower. ABM are going blow for blow against the side of LCF. Just one turret ahead are LCF, and that's the mid lane that's cracked open that leaves the jungle exposed. And now Lom is able to feed upon the jungle that Jay really wants, and he even gets that purple, but at the same time, look at that circle heal comes out. Apex just have to disengage, but he does not. Pine gets caught out, but Lom goes in. Spear of Alpha gets the kill on towards Ubby. That's the so-called playmaker for this game in this Aurora. 1-2-2 right now. And looks like ABM are kind of being backed into a corner, but we've seen this time and time again as Jay goes for the last thing. It's Sandy. Who is Peter able to survive? Penalty zone comes out. Zaman forces drop, but Sanrio is able to pick up the kill. Ryu here trying to dish out damage on towards Pine, but he gets caught out, and Error able to make the rotation. Raging Sandstorm on towards Ryu, who uses the guiding in from Apex to get out of there.
Man, these long team fights are just going to happen, I guess, right? Because both of the teams have so much sustain, and look at that, they're still not, ready to recall. They're still taking these fights, and that Error, they're just healing up with his second skill.
Seems like, again, a situation where if you look at the itemizations, it's going to tell us the same story too. Yes, there's a Calamity Reaper, or you could say Stallium Scythe being made along with the Feather of Heaven. Now, Sandriel needs to go in for the Holy Crystal, and even if it goes, you know that there's going to be some magic defenses up on the other side. If Radiant's positioning is good in the next few team fights, he's just going to demolish everyone else. And yes, I know that reaction, Kronos, that the Lord has been taken by LCF. That means they can try and push their advantage to take down those tier 2s. But here's the thing, and hear me out. If in case they do not cage ABM right here, right now, they'll have enough time and enough farm to take them down in the late game.
Oh, speaking of cage, guess what? Peter's the one caged in that penalty zone. Error here, trying to bite off more than he could chew, and look at that. Peter gets taken down. Not something that you see quite often. They go for the Spear of Alpha. They're throwing everything at this export. Not something they should be doing. Lasting Insanity gets popped, and the damage is real. Frosty Winds comes out, but there's the Frigid Glacier. Error actually using the Raging Sandstorm to get out of harm's way. Spear of Alpha from Lom to get the kill on towards Jay, and they get for more. And look at that, the passive has come out, and right now, Ubby gets taken down. So 2-for-2 trade it is. Meanwhile, the Lord is still marching down up top, but Radium able to pick up the kill on towards Sanrio. Not something you see, but a 3-man Spear of Alpha comes out. Radium able to bob and weave, get that triple kill. They get that kill indeed. That was so much more needed, and just when you were saying it scared you, they need to cage them in. But guess what? They found that opening that was so very needed, and ABM, just like their name says, able to make the most out of the opportunity. And Radium, the man behind the wheel, the one driving force of the side of ABM in this mid to late game phase, scared, is leading from the front with those rifles, with that shotgun, with that rocket launcher, and with that machine gun.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I was mentioning that the need to cage ABM. If that's not, it's going to be a big problem. For now, it's Error who seems to be in a problem. But all right, they do understand it that Error is again the experience. I want to look at the items. I mean, I think so. He has not yet made big amount of defensive items, right? I think so. He went in for the attacking items. We'll have to get a check onto that because if that's the case, that means he'll not be able to face tank that much. I mean, technically speaking, a Thunderbelt and a Dominant Size, it should be good, but Radium is just bursting down through those defenses because he went in for a very early Malefic Roar.
Yeah, he did. He did go in for the early Malefic Roar just to pierce through the armor of the Alpha and Lom Mine, as well as Error along with Pine. So they do have the damage. However, seems like it's going to be another fight that might be brewing out. Apex wants to lead the charge. Jay is just a distraction, not something they should fall for. But guess what? LCF keep falling for the time and time again. And like their name says, Lakshmi Chit Fund probably want that, you know? 21 din mein paisa double types, Fredo.
Yeah, they really want to make that happen, I guess. But, you know, they really need to, you know, take that composure which they're having right now and carry it on. Because right now, ABM seem to be the one who's making mistakes. And look at that.
They go for the charge, and look at that. They find the target, but still not able to catch him. Oh my goodness, what is going on, Radium? How was he able to survive? Thanks to the help of Apex with that flicker. They threw every single thing that they had towards him, but he still survived with the slightest bit of HP, not enough damage. And that's what happens when you throw everything at one single person. Everybody else is left exposed, just like Peter is. Right now, Black Shoes has been popped. They flicker out on towards him. He's swinging the hammer. He gets taken down. He knows he can't really do anything, and Sanreal's the one that's left standing to defend the base Crystal along with the rest of the two turrets that are there in the mid lane. But right now, the Luminous Lord that's up for grabs is being taken and prioritized by ABM Scared. And this is why they're so good at it. Circling Eagle comes out onto where Sanreal. The damage is just too much. Ryu goes into the penalty zone. Error. Oh, it's too little, too late. They get that damage going in. The Glorious Pathway just to slow them down. But at the same time, Lasting Insanity along with the Frigid Glacier made that display. And look at Ryu. Oh my goodness, that was so fighting wind every single time. If I was playing the game, I would be so upset. He is able to survive time and time again. And Lom must be triggered out of his mind right now. Look at that guy. He has a big hammer Scared, but he's able to run out so fast. That guiding winds are absolutely immaculate.
Might as well just want to ban out the Mathilda of Apex now if that's going to be the case with every single one of those people. And guess what, man? He has constantly been scouting out those bushes because he does not care, or it does not even matter if he gets locked down, because guess what? There is no Setso hero that can lock down this Mathilda right away. So he can still guiding winds, he can still use the circling eagle, and can be very annoying. And now the Lord marching down bot. Should eventually. Oh, okay, Peter.
Oh my goodness, Peter. He's caught me in a rock in a hard place. Had to use the Black Shoes, but look at that. They go again on Spear of Alpha, but bait out that big Frigid Glacier. It's a big ultimate that's not there anymore. And they're using the Shadow Energy Bombs to clear out the Lord. They left the base Crystal still defended through the inhibitor down bot. So yes, that's some good news for LCF, but at the same time, they want to cage ABM, but they're the ones getting caged instead. This is a best of 7. Game number 3, folks. Chrono Scared it and Fredo up on the desk for the English cast in this tournament by Thunder Esports, the Royal Rumble. It has been one so far, Fredo. Seems like LCF do not have any sort of answer, and they need to find one.
They really need to get that opening on Radium, but right now, because of Apex, you know, that guiding win, as well as on top of that, that Flask of Oasis, which is able to, you know, give Radium that enough HP, even when he gets low, that's not allowing LCF to do anything. They really need to mark down Radium, but they do not know how. Skadiat, what do you think might be,
Never mind. Look at that. This fight is being extended. The guiding wind is just there. And I think scared. The whole point right now is Error. He has been the focus. He has to be the focus for the side of ABM. And he realized that instantly flickered out. That means he does not have the Flicker Raging Sandstorm to make any sort of a play. That's the only form of lockdown CC they actually have. And that is why you can see the spells coming out from ABM, no Purify, as the Lord is about to spawn in 20 seconds scared.
That's exactly what I wanted to point out as well, and for you to answer your question too. Error, he used the Raging Sandstorm onto 4 minions. And that was the cue for ABM to basically force a fight onto him to bait out the flicker. And he eventually had to use it. Now, again, as you said, he does not have those tools to try and lock down or basically surprise the other side. I think so. Peter needs to be the one to get few skills baited out, but how do you do that when Radium is on Beatrix, specifically with the amount of damage that the man is dealing? He's deleting Pine QT as well. And that's the high loss. He's supposed to be the tankiest person on your team. Seems super difficult right now. Again, Error tries to go in, but he's the one who's getting poked down instead.
Yeah, I think, look at that. ABM realized this. They're playing the Ube right now, and Error is the one to lead the charge. Renner's after Peter. Absolute right target. Error actually in the middle of it. What is Sanreal doing in the backside? He gets taken out. I'm not sure if that was the right opportunity, but seems like he wanted to go in. He got a little impatient and gets taken down. Black Shoes being popped from Peter as well. And Pine here will be taken down. He does not. He does want. I thought he was going to use his Glorious Pathway. I'm not sure if I missed it out scared, but I feel like Sanreal just getting impatient once again. That was not the opportunity. He was in front of 4 others who were not CC'd through the Zaman Force, trying to do some damage. And guess what? Now it's a 4v5 without the damage dealer that they need. And Jay is just going to poke and zone them away with these fire missiles coming out from the X-Boy. Pioneer is forced to use the Glorious Pathway as Error. Once again, they're just beefing and fighting. And there's the Raging Sandstorm to get out of harm's way. They're just playing into the hands of ABM. As you can see, there's the Circling Eagle. Meanwhile, the backside, Ryu just gets going ham on towards them after the penalty zone was used. And Apex leading the charge once again, but gets taken down as there's the Frigid Glacier to provide the CC. Purify being used once again. Ryu is the target, but he gets the guiding really out of harm's way. And once again, Frosty win from Ubby. They're able to layer the skills so beautifully, and there it is, the lasting insanity. They get the kill. And along with that, they use the Glorious Pathway, but he gets taken down. Radium is untouched this entire time. Sanreal, once again, he wants to go for the 1v4, but he's not able to do so. Meanwhile, the top side is pushing in, and they take that. Sanreal once again making that fatal error, which will lead to the 3-0 in this best of 7 series for ABM versus LCF in the grand finals of Mobile Legends 5v5 Thunder Esports Royal Rumble Tournament. Peter gets taken down, the base crystal left exposed, Radium leading the charge, and there it is, folks, 3-0. What a game, what a victory. And that is a big question mark, Scared. Yet indeed, I know your expression right now, and of course it has to be, because LCF, what are you thinking?
I can't even start to point out how many times did we actually witness so many overengages coming from their side, because they had this game in the early part. They were winning it out, but it's just the ABM, man, their strategies and how well they know their own win conditions as well at the same time. I mentioned that Terizla in the EX Billion is not a good pick, but look at Ryu. I mean, the man was just right in front, soaking up everything. And here's the fun fact. This Terizla is now more beefy in the late game as compared to what he used to be prior to the nerf. So if you're talking to me about the fact that Terizla is not that good, yes, only if you're not able to pick him off in the early game. If in case you pick him up in the early game, yes, Terizla would not be able to do anything. But if he goes to late game, he's just going to soak up everything. And there are so many question marks that I have as well. Like, there were so many problems in the target prioritization, which on the other side, when ABM went in on the field, knew who the people were who they needed to take down. And that's the main reason why they actually won this game.
It sent that big question mark. I was asking myself, yes, you are trying to get the damage down, but why are you trying to go against a marksman that's actually dishing down so much basic damage and can instantly burst you down. So Sandrail's really questionable plays coming in. I think it was just to the point where they were tilted and trying to make individualistic plays. And I think that's what cost them quite a bit scared. So Fredo, I think, the itemizations are as it is. And to be honest, I know why the Khalid is able to make such fast rotations, because you take that, wilderness blessing boots that provides you an extra bit of mobility in the river, so he can move a little faster along with his passive. So yes, that kind of provides the extra bit of mobility. But Fredo, oh my God, what a game indeed.
Yeah, what a game for ABM in this match. And yeah, they will be, looking to make that happen, that 4-0 which they really want to do. I mean, it's utter domination coming in from their side. And yeah, they did it in this game as well. And it didn't work out well for LCF. They really need to take that composure and, cool their minds and take, that next game well. But yeah, with that, we'll be coming back in next game, folks. So yeah, don't go anywhere, and we'll be back very soon.
The train to domination is the one that ABM is riding on, or we could say driving on, and LCF need to take desperate measure, need to make their desperate moves to try and still stay and maybe bring our hopes back up for a big reverse sweep. Ladies and gentlemen, if that's going to happen or not is going to be a question which will be answered right now as you all are watching the Royal Rumble. It's going to be me, Skated, alongside me, Kronos and Peachy on the desk, as we witness the game number 4 between LCF taking on ABM.
Jesus Christ, Scared. Yeah, what a great introduction indeed, especially for the possible final game. Could be a 4-0, a clean sweep that we usually see when ABM are in the finals, and they're no stranger to finals because they are always there, and every single time there is a different challenger, and guess what? They defend their throne with that big shield, with that big gameplays, and especially the knowledge that they bring into the game, able to make the maximum opportunity, or able to maximize the opportunity from every single window that they are given. And Peachy, you are no stranger to this as well. And right now, LCF on the blue side and ABM on the red goes to show maybe they have some sort of a game plan, or do they not? The Phoveus is banned out, so is the Fanny. The Vexana is next. What could be on the cards? Is this going to be a reverse sweep that is on the cards that's available, or will this be a clean sweep coming in from ABM, Peachy?
Both are possible in this game, but I am hoping to see that clean sweep as well. But on the other hand, Team LCF can actually have a chance, because this is the match point. This is the most important match so far into the game, because this is the deciding factor if ADM will be taking the throne, or will LCF have a chance to actually battle it out fair and square again against ABM. And with that, the target bans are already in. Possibly,
Who said
maybe,
there are
okay,
no
look at that. The
shortcuts in
chip ban
life?
is
I
already, and looks like
literally
Team
invented
ABM, they
one.
will be looking forward to banning those because LCF have that first pick to themselves, and they really don't want a chip scare yet.
That's the big thing, right? And my whole point is now, what
Your
are you
team
going to
is
do?
banning.
As to you've tried almost every single thing and bringing the stuff back in from your own bag of tricks, but none of them have worked. And again, in the previous game, we eventually saw the impatience coming in from the side of LCF as well. And ABM, it seems like that the team is just playing very confidently as they have got an idea and they know what might happen. And I'll be honest, Xbox is still left open. So if in case it's basically left open, that means LCF will have to pick it up to try and deny it because just how comfortable Jay is on that hero. The man does not care. Jumps in whenever he wants
Still
to, chunks
waters
down
run
those
deep.
tanky frontliners
Your
as well.
team is
And it's a
picking.
link ban. So kinda LCF are forced to pick an Xbox now.
Yeah, and but is the question is, do they really want to go look at that? They decide not to go there. They're trying to force the exporting of the jungle once again just by picking up this ruby. So I'm not sure what the strategy is coming out from them, but leaving the fact that there is the Nolan open will be a problem for their side as well. Yes, the ruby has the Don't Run Wolves King to provide that extra bit of countermeasure. But yeah, I think they're just asking for trouble here. Not something that you would pick up as a first pick. As yes, you can see, they go ahead with that X-Borg. And but you know what, Peachy? I just can't say this. And time again, Radium has been beat down by a lot of people, a lot of his haters, and he has come out on top every single time. And I cannot commend him enough for what he has done. But yes, there is the Hylos that's being picked. And Jesus, Peachy, I don't know what is it Radium going to pull out this time. Yeah, you want to talk about Apex, but I think ABM doesn't get enough of the shine.
Definitely Kronos and Radium time by time he's proving us that
Where
he
there is
he
light,
can
there
play
are
any
also
of those
shadows.
marksmen and actually holding the title of the best goal laner in India. With that, looks like who is Peter hovering. Look, he will be locking on to that Louis, his classic pick coming in. But on the other side, I'm looking at a high loss. I'm looking at the Xbox as well.
Team is
Definitely, it's
picking.
on the hands of Jay. So it is going on to the jungle. But hey, look at that. A Khalid is coming onto a play again. Into the last game, he
Always
was
on the
getting zoned
way.
out. He was trying
Your
to go in,
team
but
is
it was
banning.
just not enough. But again, I think this is a redemption arc coming in from LCF. Don't you think so, Scary?
Depends, because now they kind of need a jungler that eventually could deal a lot of damage and chunk down that Ryu on high loss. I'll be honest, because now the next few bans could eventually be okay.
upon the
They
Your
edge
actually
team
take
of
away
is
the
the
Nolan.
void.
Was
picking.
not thinking in that direction. I was thinking of something along the lines of a Lunox, because let's be honest, Fine QT can still play this Ruby into the roam position instead of putting it in the hands of Sanriel in that goal. Plus, uh, here's the thing. In terms of the hero pool, I think so.
Come on,
Sanriel
Dexter.
is
It's
the
our
Your
one who
team
showtime.
is
kinda has
banning.
a bit of trouble. So I think so. We might possibly see him again onto maybe a carry force pick or something along the lines of a Harith. I don't think so. Harith is the way to go, though.
Nah, man. Sanriel can just. I don't think he should pick up the Hadith again, at least for a while, so that us casters and viewers watching don't really have to see that disaster that went upon in the previous game. But however, it's not that he was
True
not
love
playing a great game. He
is
did
what
have a
your
good game
team is
just
banning.
towards the end, losing out on the patience that is so very badly needed just became a problem for him. But at the moment, it looks like they are going to put this Ruby into the goal lane and want to go for the hyper carry kind of meta, so called. And against a full dive composition that is being brewed by the side of ABM, I'm not sure if this could be a problem. Because if you take a look, Scared, I mean, the Nolan's banned, the Carmella's banned, the Claude is gone. What else is left?
Bane. They can go Bane, to be honest. The best hero to play whenever the enemy has got a humongous dive. But the question will still come down to the same point. Who is going to chunk down Hylos?
That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, you can pick up the Bane, but you do need to go for the physical route. Yes, you can, but at the same time, you kind of need another anti-dive tank. Because yes, the Bane is enough, the deadly catch can go away, but ABM have the composition not just for a dive, but also for a re-engage, which is so very possible with the guy with the glorious with blasting insanity, and now they have the Alice with Blood Oath. So once again, the big question, are they gonna go? I think they should go possibly go for, oh my goodness, they pick the Ruby in the wrong position. They pick up the carry. Maybe a tunnel vision again. Peachy, tunnel vision, is it?
Oh, maybe, but Sandra locking on to that the carry, just seeing those Alice, Hylos, the Xbox, he's just not waiting. That instant was really there onto his side. On the other hand, looks like Error would be picking up a Alpha, possibly be sitting up with Lom, since Error was playing EXP on the side of the LCF, so that is highly possible. But a data roam coming in from from Apex right now. It's scarier.
I mean, at this point, it's like a full dive composition up against a comp which only has got one anti-dive hero. I think so that could be a bit of a problem. We'll just have to wait and see eventually, because Error on the Kali should be able to rotate faster than Hylos. Maybe they can try and use that as a bit of a leverage, try and get some advantage in the early game. But how much is going to be the question? Those diversions need to be on point. Kronos, we are about to hop in the lab to take it away.
Hey, you said it, folks, and we are here into possibly the final game, match point on the side of ABM. Thunder Esports hosting the Royal Rumble for the Mobile Legends 5v5. It is a best of 7. ABM once again standing tall on top of the mountain with a 3-0 currently sitting at match point. But LCF, the challengers, they want to get their money back, and not just back, they want it doubled as well. They have taken 21 days, 25 days. If you understand what I'm saying, folks, they want to get this all, and this is going to be the start for their reverse sweep. Is it possible, Peachy? Is it possible? That is the big question.
To be honest, I'll just hop in between, say one thing. You got to say it in Hindi, bro. I want to listen to it again.
Hey, all I said was, the entire tournament's been happening. 25 दिन या 21 दिन में पैसा डबल होगा कि नहीं होगा, LCF का पता चलेगा अभी.
That's what I want to do. Thank you. Pishi, go ahead.
That was actually suiting up the name for the Lakshmi Chit Fund, I have to say, Kronos. But on the other hand, the match is firing up. This is a match between Team LCF versus Team ABM, the bot lane. Carry used the part, looks like the last insanity. He will be managing to escape, but there we go. He does manage to escape. Maybe not. There's some knock coming in from Akarita, and it will be a but into the hands of.
Oh, okay, Peter. Kronos.
Indeed, Peter actually trying to buy something for himself, but look at Lomlomai, he catches Ryu, Spear of Alpha, Revitalize, every single thing being used, not enough true damage. When have you ever heard me say that, Scared Peachy? They did not have enough true damage to take down this beefy. And this big chunky boy in the Hylos, the Centaur, actually not being able to take it down. That was an absolute disaster. They wanted to bite off more than they could chew, but guess what? Lomlo Mai eats that turtle soup up for himself, has that buff, and now will regain that shield. But here comes that big diversion play. They're able to make it up top, and will they try? They're trying to catch somebody off guard, but not able to because there's no jungle creep and they do not have the priority in their rotation. The mid lane is left open, so they understand that they are missing Apex. Calls for his team, and Sanreal able to clear out the wave. The bot side is left open, Scared, but I think Ryu's in trouble.
Yeah, he's in very big trouble right now as again going for some humongous plays and burst him down before the man could pop in the glorious pathway. I mean, no path of redemption for the man, and that means Peachy Sanreal would have to play that much more safe in his own lane. He's got no clue where ABM is right now.
that right, Gary. Right now, Sandriel definitely has to play it very safe because his team has to rotate to the bot lane again. But I have to say that they are actually focusing on that high losses from the early start from the side of team LCF. So this is actually going good. But on the other hand, maybe a gang coming in looks like Sandriel.
Diversion is the play. They want to get it. They did not pull the I'm offended. It was right there, but they didn't have the damage. Lomo not able to make it towards that. He was just about to, and that would have spelled disaster. Radium. Yes, we've seen him on different picks. Guess what? This time on the alley, he's doing a good job. Sandriel actually dived close towards the Blood Ode. Is that a flicker with Wonderful Skin? He uses the Blood Ode to try to get out of harm's way, but the I'm offended pulls him back. The speedy light wheel is able to pick up the kill, and Sandriel realizes all the attention's on him. He wants to prove the haters wrong, but the mid lane, the Kadena Abi taken down. This pocket pick that ABM pull off every single time, scared, but this time around, not having a great time.
True, and honestly, Ichi, I would want to know your opinions, but before that, Kronos and another Sphere of Alpha.
Goodness, the glorious pathway along with the lasting insanity, but guess what? The yin-yang reaction just able to take them down, but Ryu still survives. How does he do that? They prevent him from going back, and Error is there. He provides the damage, and Apex here zoning the team away as Abi is there. He wants to provide the knock-up. He wants to go for a single-man pick-off. Pine is available, but that's not the target that he needs. The target that he's looking for is Peter or Sandriel, just like Jay. Sandriel's get caught out and he gets taken down, not in the position he should be in, but Jay willingly sacrifices, but the guiding wind, he's able to get out of harm's way. Breath of the Ocean gets the knock up. He's able to get out of there as well. Every single time Lomlo tries to go for a play, he gets caught out, but guess what? Up here, gets caught out once again. Mind the Alpha scared.
Ichi, every single time you've seen Peter in these situations, the man, specifically on Louis, always makes some insane plays on the diversions, and that's exactly what he did right now as well.
Yes, Carrier, that is true. And I have to say, I am a big fan of his diversion. He makes a very on-point diversion. Into the last team fight, we did see that Khadija trying to run away, but no mercy was shown from Peter this time.
It indeed is true. And again, over the fact if we look at how the lanes are working out, ABM, again, they kind of have the, I wouldn't exactly say a big advantage in terms of laning, because they've kind of lost that mid lane. They're not giving away the map presence. That's the big part about taking down the mid basically means you have the jungle access of the other side. Oh, but diversion play Kronos.
As they get it, Jace didn't even smell that coming. Oh my goodness, he gets just melted down, but guess what? Here's the re-engage. Circling heal comes down, but the damage is too much. That speedy light wheel does everything. Ryu gets caught out. He does have the guiding wind. The Breath of the Ocean provides the knockup, but they get that 2 kills. That's so important. The front line of ABM that was so needed to be peeled and broken down has been taken out now. Meanwhile, on the top side, there is Alice, there's Radium providing the split push, but not enough. I don't have damage, not a marksman. That's the problem when you do not have one. Can't really do a lot of damage to these neutral objective structures. But at the same time, you look at the top side, the battle has been extended. Error versus Radium. It's sustained versus sustained. Here's the big diversion play once again coming in on towards Radium, using the blue to get out of harm. I'm offended with the flicker. With the Spear of Alpha, he gets instantly deleted. Mega kill. He's lumped the my 403 Apex here. Once again in harm's way. He does with the help of the guiding wind, but guess what? I'll be here once again. He used the rough waves to get out of harm's way. He does have the petrify. He did use that as well, and the turtle is up. And once again, Lomai is gonna eat it up for himself. And Peachy scared. Oh my goodness, these guys are not waiting for an opportunity, destroying them with the diversion, and that is the composition. That is the LCF we want to see.
Definitely, Kronos. They have pulled up their trump card. They are making those diversion plays. They are making sure to pick off Jay. They are making sure to pick off all those front liners, which was very, very necessary. On to the other hand, another diversion play again.
Really, yeah. That was a big mess up coming in from LC. They might have actually caught Jay out there in the open too again, but I think so it's absolutely fine. Here's the thing about ABM. They still have Radium free farming on those side lanes constantly. And I want to see the amount of items that is built up probably because he loves to go the damage route. And that's exactly what's going on now.
Peter is the one that has to dish it out, but he's caught out. Breath of the Ocean along with the glorious pathway. But look at the Fender that was there. They use it and they get 1-for-1 trade. Now the Spear of Alpha comes in. Apex is there to get out of harm's way. But look at Radium able to lead the charge from the back line. He's able to take him down. Blood Ode is there. Lom realizes that they cannot touch him. 4-0-4. Absolute destruction. 3-2 trade. Finally, ABM getting the better half of it. But at the same time, the goal lead does not slip above 2K. And this is so constant scared that ABM never let it slip out of more than 3K mark.
I am about to say that was just a small mess up coming in between the coordination of Error as well as Lom. Because Lom was there and ready to answer back if in case Radium would have gone in to TP with the Blood Ode. So I think so. I wanted to see her go on a chase. The man is going on a full damage route for now, though. That's exactly what Eve and Radium is doing with. So it's gonna get super aggressive in those fights, but we might not see a lot of stays. So the fights are going to be fast and quick, like in mid right now. Ryu just ran away. Chronos, diversion play.
Diversions up top, and look at that. They instantly delete Radium. They catch him off guard using Error as the bait. They know that every time they use a diversion, Error the go. Is that the pet coming out from Uppy? He just missed there. I think I was misplaying. Look at that. They're dominating the side of the map, and they can't really do anything because the only down that they have that can sustain is Radium on this palace. And once that's taken off the table, ABM have to think twice every time they want to go in. And Ryu on this high-lows can't really do a lot. But look at Ubby. He's just waiting for the moment to pounce upon the right target. Being Sandreal, he should not get out of the error. He does not check that push whatsoever. They're waiting for the opportunity. Once again, Iron is there. They realize Apex. Oh my goodness, this is so much tension building up. Scared yet. Oh, but the concealed play is real, and they missed that. They missed that, and at this time around, look at the I'm Offended comes out as well. They take down Ryu. And seems like this is gonna happen, but they go for the diversion once again on towards the other side, but doesn't catch it. Apex realizes that, and they get that caught out. So they use the guiding wind to get out of harm's way. The top side is being pushed in. The bot side, however, from Radium is being zoned out. And look at that. They get the lasting insanity to zone them away, but Radium gets caught out 1v1. He gets taken down by Error as the Lord is there in the mid lane, able to clear the waves out. Rough Wave comes in just to provide the bit of zone, and the fast clearing the Lord as they get that mid lane inhibitor. Here comes the glorious pathway along with the lasting insanity. They get the kill one. They get another one. Will they? No, they don't. Ryu able to survive with the revitalize, and they make that trade. Peter for the mid lane inhibitor. Peachy, I am not sure if it's worth it.
I think that is definitely worth it because team ABM, they were able to defend those turrets, those important inhibitor standings, since this was a level 1 Lord, almost picking off the inhibitor. So I think this is a good trade, but they were able to pick off the Louis. That was their main point, because Louis is the one who is going in with the yin and yang combo, with the diversion. She's making sure, and she's she's just taking up her team along with her. She's just picking up one by one. Sometimes it was the Alice, sometimes it was the high loss. This is where team LCF are making these plays right now.
It's a big thing. And to be very honest, in terms of the amount of goal lead that we are seeing right now, Kronos, I might as well want to add that this is one of the same stuff that we saw in one of the previous few days, if you remember. Where LCF, okay, good scout.
Hubby was playing with fire right there, but guess what? They get the 3-man diversion going onto the other side. They catch Radio. That was Ryu who was just caught out. He used the glorious pathway, but guess what, my friend? A horse can only run so fast, whereas a mage can actually divert your attention and move and teleport around the map. But this time around, will they go for the re-engage scared? That's the big question. Fine leading the charge once again. He has the I'm Offended. He does not want to use it. He uses it on towards Jay. There it is. The frog armor bursts down, and they get the back line. Petrify. They get Peter, but guess what? Abby gets taken down. Sandreal is the one dishing out the damage. Loblomai this time leading the charge once again. Apex will have to get out of harm's way. Guiding wind, but the top side is pushing in slowly as the Lord is spawned. This is the luminous one. Scared yet? Oh my goodness, Peachy, oh my goodness, what is gonna go around this time around? Will Apex and will ABM be able to pick up this Lord? Seems like this team fight gets extended a little bit. but the zone is there and they want to reset.
Oh my goodness, error. This time gets deleted though, Kronos. The last thing inside, he misses onto one, but Lomlom actually jumps in with the Spear of Alpha as well, and they're chasing.
Oh my goodness, yes they are. They get the right target. Sanreal is the one they wanted to take down. Ryu's this time in the face of Lomlo along with Pine. They do not have the damage. It's a 4v3 right now. Make that a 5v3. They do not have anything whatsoever. Pine along with Lomlo. My, look at that. He dishes out the damage with the Spear of Alpha. Peter is able to pick off Ryu on the other side. And there's the damage being dished out. He comes out with the lasting insanity. Ubby along with Jay gets taken down, but the flicker coming in. Make sure Radium is not able to catch the back line. He gets taken down. Winter Crown is there. They're able to make the play. That is a 5-man wipeout. This is the small opening that ABM needed, and they made the most out of the opportunity. And guess what? Once again, they come down from the depths of despair.
Big mistakes coming in there. Peachy, what do you have to say about that? Because this seems like a free lot for ABM.
That is definitely a free lord for ABM. You know, wait a minute, error is still there, but looks like Sandial will be picked off right there. And since Jay has the retribution, I think he already secured that. On the other hand, you know, this slight throw actually just made me change my mind. You know, oh wait a minute, look at that.
I'm not even, you know, Kronos, I know, I'm not even going to say that. Because again, Error needed to prioritize the Lord instead of the Kadita, because Avi was there just to scout him out. He also used the Raging Sandstorm and eventually missed that cast. That's a big mistake coming in from the side of LCF. And I was saying I'm getting deja vu because that's exactly what we saw in one of the previous few times. And this is exactly what's happening yet again.
True indeed, it is happening once again as the Luminous Lord marching down the top lane. Peachy, what is the priority target? Who do you think they should be targeting?
You know, right now, from the side of ABM, they should make sure to pick off the Louis because she is the main character. She is the main character of Team LCF. She's just making sure that, you know, displacing with the Yin and Yang. Look at that, the Lord is already marching in from the top lane. Alice is there in possession. Everyone is there. Wait, look at that.
Glorious Pathway goes in, lasting insanity used as well, and you're right, the dispersion rotation creating an opportunity. Lom Mai gets caught out. There's the circling eagle. They do not have the CC to lock him down. The mid lane not yet cracked, but the top is. And guess what? That's the Luminous Lord. Abi goes in. He has the rough waves used already. They are not able to crack the base open a lot more than they should. ABM happy with what they've done, able to buy time for themselves as they've realized that the scaling is there on their end. They have Radium who's scaled up to a certain point right now, and scared you. Look at the itemization.
Yeah, the man loves to go in for a full damage build. Now, the only sustain item is a Winter Crown, but look at Diversion Chronos.
Oh my goodness, they go for it, but guess what? They don't catch Jay at the right time. He's able to put out the lasting insanity. The damage is a little too much for them to deal. Glorious Pathway to cut their paths off, but Lom Mai, he's able to pull out the Spear of Alpha. He gets the damage. Revitalize is there, but they cancel it out, and at the same time, Petrify. He's able to get that kill on towards the target. Sanreal's the only one that could do any possible thing. But right now, look at that. They left the base crystal exposed. Nothing standing in their way. Just fine. Just error. 3 minion waves crashing. How many times have you seen this? ABM pull this off every now and again. But the I'm offended. Not just delaying the inevitable. Error, the only one left standing. They want this wipeout, but they're not going to get it. However, they get the base. ABM make it a 4-0 clean sweep against LCF in the Royal Rumble by Thunder Esports. What a day, what a game, and what a series.
Full-fledged domination is now what I always talk about whenever I see this match. Even though there were situations when Ryu's body was being basically thrown on the table. It's like, you want kills? It's okay. Use everything on Ryu. We're absolutely happy. Once the horse spawns in, he's going to jump in for those re-engages. And that's what they were playing with. In this entire game, we constantly saw LCF basically... I just say it out loud, you know. It seemed like they were trying to get the frustration out of the previous 2 games by going in a bit too brawly, you could say, and it eventually bit them in the back, even though they had the advantages. Just a few reckless plays in the last, where ABM eventually got the punish onto them, Peachy.
Definitely, there was this throw, and just by one throw coming in from LCF, ABM turned the tables for themselves. They picked up their advantage. They made sure to abuse that advantage and picked up the lot. This is where Team LCF had to just defend, but unfortunately, since they already lost all those inhibitors, the minions were pouring in. That is where it was the end already. But I have to say also, I have to commend Apex as well. He was with the guiding lights. He actually helped a lot of times into that team fights as well. Jay hopping in into the turret, he is coming out by the guiding lights.
Absolutely, indeed. But Kronos again, 4-0, yet again a sweep, and the domination continues from ABM and their team. Any last few words? Because I'm not going to talk about the fact that Jay has got 41% damage. That is insane.
I mean, it's the fact that they're not able to realize what they don't understand. I feel like scared. I think it's time to get back to basics. I feel like LCF just do not recognize their win condition whatsoever. And if they do, not everyone's on the same page. They forget their win condition, and there's no in-game leader to remind them about their win condition. Whereas on the side of ABM, even though they're so good, when their backs are against the wall, Apex is the one to tell them, hey, remember your win condition. Reminds them that this is the target that needs to be taken down and what has to be done before any possible thing. And however, it does not happen with many other teams, and that is the difference maker. And at this point of time, folks, what else can we say? My name is Kronos. Alongside me is Peachy and Scared Yet. And the Royal Rumble was crazy. It really was. Peachy was there throughout it. Peachy, you have any last things to say? Of course, you got to thank a lot of people. Peachy, it's all up to you.
Yeah. Yes, Kronos, a little words of gratitude goes a long way. And with that, we are at an end of Royal Rumble Showdown Season 1. This has been a very big tournament. A lot of people joined in, a good audience, as well as I really have to thank every single one who was there today, to yesterday, and every single day. With that, we are at a close.